Um, and we'll go over more things in part two. But what I wanted to show is something that has really caught a lot of teachers' eyes as I've talked with different schools about this tool, is the ability to take a document and look at the revision history of the document. This is a really cool feature. So when you get things, typically, like if you've had students submitted a like Google Doc, let's say in Google Classroom, or even if they just shared it to you to your Drive, you have the ability with any document, and in this case, I'm just showing you. This is Jeremy and I. This is one of our scripts.
Oh, you got to put it up on the screen, or I got to put it up on the screen.
So in this case, I'm just showing you one of our scripts that we use for our introduction and our outro. But this would apply to any student work that you would come across. One of the reasons that teachers like this feature is that it allows them to see the process of the paper. And so just by having Brisk, and we can start from scratch here, click the button, the Brisk button. And then if you click inspect writing, there is this replay button. And what the replay button does is it will actually pull up a video that has recorded all of the different edits that have taken place within the script. So what's kind of interesting is that, for example, if you have one where all of a sudden one thing is pasted in there instantly, that's going to be a really good tell for you for any plagiarism work. And I was thinking about this more in the context of what Jeremy and I do, because being that we work with AI tools a lot, and we've had, Chat GPT write things for us. As I'm talking, you can kind of see the variations of edits that go on. And this is just scrolling through. So it's kind of like a video essentially of the different edits. Um, but you can always tell when all of a sudden there is a paste. Even though you have this little tag up here that says how many pastes there were, that's going to be like a giveaway to if this only took 1 minute and it was a massive paste job that was put in there like that. You just saw a huge. Let me go back for a second here. So you see where all of a sudden there's like this big section of text that's pasted in. That would have been an instance where Jeremy and I probably got like an edit from ChatGPT, and we pasted it into our Google Doc. And this video is showing that process. So it's kind of cool because you have your timestamps up here as the video continues on. It does count how many pastes had taken place in a document, um, which doesn't always mean that there was cheating or anything, but at the same time, you'll be able to have a tool at your disposal to help you with checking that.
Right, and it
But
can't prove that it was necessarily AI or that it came from you copied and pasted from Wikipedia, but it
yeah,
just tells a mass chunk came in at one time. And maybe a student did that because it was a quote and they were citing a quote and whatever it was that they were writing, and it was just easier for them to copy and paste that particular quote and they give it proper citation. So don't I would say, yeah, this gives you some great ideas, but always use your best teacher judgment on whether or not to start accusing kids.
yeah. Yeah, and it's really good. I would just look at it more as like a tool, an additional tool that you can use in your grading process. So like if you're getting this turned in, and normally you would just have the digital document, and Google does have their own revision history where you can see things, but this is quite a bit more complex, and it's showing you in real time the edits that took place. And again, it does count like how much time was spent on this. And that's why I brought up the example of, like, let's say there's, one paste, and the total time that it took is 1 minute, and you have one edit. And, that would be kind of your telltale sign that something's not right. So it's very helpful. And I find it interesting just to watch like the editing process. And Jeremy and I have been, we've had been going through our scripts for a while now, several months, and you can see all the different edits that have taken place and the amount of time that we've taken on it. And so that's an interesting aspect of it as well. So here is right here is also to point out is it will mark where the paste took place so that you can always go back. So you can scroll anywhere on this timeline, but you can also click on this and it'll bring you directly to the paste. So that's helpful too for when you want to check and see if it was just copied from a resource. It'll save you a ton of time too, because rather than reading through the paper and then looking at a section and thinking like something maybe doesn't seem right here, just by having Brisk and quickly clicking the inspect writing and replay, you'll see the paste laid out. And so you could just go directly to those and then see. And that's going to save you a lot of time in the grading process. So really cool tool. I've talked to a lot of teachers that really love that this exists now. um, so so good stuff. I